welcome to the game with no rules.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
We're so pumped to have you. It's always just like the best chat with you, and you bring such a warm and fun energy that just cannot be beat. So we're really excited. We've been excited all week, and I was glad that this Friday happened to work and the stars aligned and it was perfect. So yeah.
Love that.
Jordan, if you feel like I'm going to put you on the spot, if you want to do a little bit of an intro, just because you always do great at them and it's always fun to hear. So
thanks. Yeah, no, so Pamela and I met, when was it now? Probably a year and a half ago?
I guess so, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Virtually first.
Yep, virtually. And it didn't take long for us to figure out we both had a pretty similar perspective on business and people and everything to do with being an entrepreneur. I remember that first coffee just being so much fun of bouncing so many things off of each other and ideas. And I feel very lucky to have you in the network because watching you post every day on LinkedIn is a ton of value for people who are in your network. I hope you realize that, like, the stuff you're posting I love the variety. I love there's so much value baked in, but the storytelling along with it doesn't seem like you're posting every day. Whereas there's other people who are, that it feels like, okay, they're really trying to accomplish this. Yours feels like it's just happening. And so I'm a big fan. I know you've had a varied career through a whole bunch of different industries that is always fun to me too, where people can bring things over from one to another and start to see patterns. So I'm always excited when I get to have a chat with you, and I'm hoping that everyone else gets to be as excited as we are and get some nuggets of wisdom from Pamela today.
Oh, you too. It's too early in this for my cheeks to already hurt. We still have moments. The feeling is absolutely mutual, and I have like much respect for both your work, and I always love the content that the two of you put out as well, and collectively with Evergreen Growth. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here. I'm very happy to be in the share an ecosystem together.
Absolutely. So just to make sure that you get a chance to tell everyone what you actually do, and instead of just my version of it, why don't you tell us a bit about like your business, what you do, what got you here? Give us the story.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And I do love the storytelling component because there's different ways that people can share what they're working on. And I really lean into the storytelling when I can. But yes, so Pamela, and I am a business development consultant. I work on primarily personal marketing or organic marketing for executives and owners. I've been recently coining it a little bit of the reluctant executive creator, that they're like, oh, I don't want to be an influencer. And it's like, no, there's a difference between an influencer and posting from your personal profile, which is different from the corporate profile. And they're often the face of their business. They're working on really cool, exciting projects and businesses. They may have their missions. They're the thing that's the challenge is time. Sometimes they're not sure what to say and how to say it or how to present it. And AI is maybe not quite cutting it on that side of it. Like definitely putting some background frameworks in place, but just the AI messaging of bringing their voice to life is not quite there. So I partner with them. I just essentially bring their ideas forward and make their lives easier.
Amazing.
I will say just one thing to add on with like the storytelling aspect, and Jordan mentioned this too, how you do your daily LinkedIn stuff. With the way that you present things and talk about things, it feels like you're updating your friends on like, oh my gosh, this thing happened. And it has such a friendly feeling when I read the things that you post or that you write. And it doesn't feel like I'm just getting like an update, or I'm just getting like somebody just slapped this on LinkedIn, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it has a very different feeling as the reader. And I always really appreciate that about the things that you put out in your newsletter too. It's very much like I'm getting an update on a friend, or like a look into their life or this thing happened and they're excited to tell me about it. All of that comes through. And I love that about your content very, very, very much. So kudos.
I super appreciate that, because that is my goal. And I think it is like, it's the practice and reps to be able to bring, like, you think just speaking in your own voice should be very straightforward, but just to be able, it's way more challenging, because it's like, wait, what is my voice? Like, what do I say? How do I say it? What do I know? And to be able to bring it forward. And I think with the daily practice, and I do, like, I think about like the people I'm speaking to, which would include the two of you. And I think that's where that spirit or that friendship and I mean, I a little bit more the traditional like writing background of really trying to have this polished prose, but now in this day and age, I think there's this opportunity to have some fun with it, like to extend a couple extra letters to be like, hello, because that's maybe what I'd say when I see you. And that's what you can play with in writing. And I think it's an interesting new stylistic way to present yourself when it comes to that form of content.
Nice.
But thank you.
Maybe that's a really good lead into it. Just the fact that like there used to be this concept that you had to always be very professional. And it was like when you were writing something for people to read and take in, it had to be delivered in a certain format. And I feel like now that has changed completely, because you can convey your tone in such a way that it's like, I know exactly who I'm reading the second that I read it. And I guess like maybe that's a rule that people can walk away from. I'm trying to get it in there. I feel like it's a good organic connection, and I may be beating it to death, but
well, you talked about like two things. I had the same thought. If you didn't say it, I was going to say it. So you talked about like a previous rule that exists, which I agree existed on LinkedIn, of like LinkedIn, you wrote formally, you wrote for your professional network, you put on a polished face for LinkedIn, and you had fun, but little bits. Yes. And I agree that I think that rule is breaking now, of that's now what AI is producing, and people don't want the soulless feel in their content. They want a bit of human in it. And the best way to be human is to write and sound like a human, which isn't polished and isn't professional all the time and is like updating your friends, but in any medium. Like, it's not like you only have friends on Instagram and you have no friends professionally. We have both. We've just been ignoring that fact for a long time.
Yeah. No, that's super well said. And I think, it's a definitely interesting evolution. And that was like, the first part of my career, mostly emails at that point, and LinkedIn as a platform. I'm going to this event at most. I just used LinkedIn as a Rolodex at the beginning. It was like people that I wanted to connect with that weren't necessarily, Facebook was the thing at the time, and then followed by Instagram. But that was like the way to like stay in touch with people, just in case like I moved companies, and this was the way we could remain connected. And then like dipping a toe into being like, okay, I'm going to this event. And at that time, those kind of updates just would like the engagement was wild. Like I couldn't believe like something just very simple, like I will be in Amsterdam for MRO Europe, which was an aviation conference. And it's just like. And then so like if we really want to get into it, but the algorithm has changed since then, and it gets a lot of discussion. And when you're like people like us, we love going down those rabbit holes. But like just broadly, I know it gets like a lot of grief and it can have its bad sides, but I think like some of the intention is to serve you the information and the knowledge and education and the people that you want to connect with. So you might not get the same broad reach, but you're getting like a curated reach, which I think is becoming more and more the goal versus all the flowers and clicks, but more like those business connections and partnerships and collaborations.
Yeah. I was talking with a few people in social who were saying that like the real trend right now is the algorithm has become smarter than us in targeting, and like hashtags and things like that are kind of almost done with at this point, of like they don't really matter.
Right.
It's more you have to create content that there's people out there that are going to like. And the best way to do that is to create content you like. and to find other
Mhm.
people who have like the same perspectives and the same beliefs and the same values. And you attract your people by just posting
Yes.
you as content, whatever that is. And
Mhm.
that's a really cool rule to me that's developing, is that these smaller, more personality driven, like anyone can provide, service X, but
Mhm.
very few people can provide it like you if you lean into doing it the way you do it. And so it's
Mhm.
really like a moat almost that people are starting to make, is when they build their
Yes.
personality and themselves into their content and their business, that makes them essentially a market of one or a few that do it that way. And so if they can find their people, they're going to be like a hell yes to work with them,
Yes.
instead of,
Yeah.
well, you're one of like 10. I should like price shop. I should see who
Mhm.
can get me the best deal. Like that. I think that's eventually going to go by the wayside. And we're going to start buying based on who we connect with most.
100%. Yes. And I think that's like some of the vulnerability that comes up with people to like, I don't know, sometimes you say it's like show you're weird, or, it just makes
Yeah.
you a little
Yep.
different. But I mean, ultimately, it will attract people that will be the best fit to work with, like in all the ways.
Absolutely.
Like it'll be lovely for you, it'll be lovely for them. I always like, it's like there'll be people, this is not everyone's your audience, right? Like there's some
Yeah.
people that aren't going to click and vibe. I always like they look at you like you have like 2, 3 heads. They're like, what are you even talking about? And then there's the other people that like, I feel like with our conversation too, not to keep bringing it up, but we just lean in. We're like, oh yeah, that's me
Yeah.
too. And that I think is just like a really great goal. And it's just something that provides ease for everyone involved in it. I think it's
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. The authenticity is very, like, it's very engaging, but it also just makes it feel like such a safer space to engage with those
Mm-hmm.
people, because the internet can be a big, scary thing sometimes. But when you
Mm-hmm.
find your weirdos, or like the people
Mm-hmm.
who you love chatting with them, or you get excited about engaging with them, it just, it doesn't feel, it feels very organic. It doesn't feel like it's pressured or forced or anything. And then you get to have those great conversations. And then maybe you're that person that they're like, oh, I need someone for this thing that I need to accomplish, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And because you have that relationship and that, like, kind of that weirdo connection, if that's a thing, like, I don't know if we should tote that, but I'm going to go with it. But it just makes it that much easier to connect
Mm-hmm.
and have those conversations. And it's great.
Yeah. And I think the content is like a bit of a bridge. Like maybe you are somebody that feels like it can be challenging to reach out to different people, or maybe
Mhm.
you love it. Maybe that's still your thing and you don't need to lean on or want to lean on content as much. But content I just find, because I do make a regular, I pop up on LinkedIn daily. I meet people for the first time, but they feel like they already know me on some level, or have like, they come to, and I just find that's really great. Like I have to like kind of catch it and be like, wait, have we met before? And like, okay, no, we haven't. But like you see me and then you like can connect on that level. So that just like warms me up immediately too. Cause like the
Mhm.
stuff that I've been posting resonates in some way. So there is some sort of connection there that we can uncover. And yeah, and I think like throughout my career, I worked in aviation for many years, and then I was in tourism and a little stop in the ballet, and I was always in external facing, so always adjusting a little bit of chameleon, like my tone for the audience, right? And when you're a little bit tethered to what the working relationship is or what the culture is, yeah, like you can like make those adjustments. But then when you get into this space of like you've got a big pool of people that you can work with, and the ones that connect with you on that, like the knowledge, expertise, your personality, what you love, those kind of things, I think that can just bring organic ease to the relationship as well. Not to say you can't like bump along in other ways with other people that are different. I always find there's like something that you can connect on.
Yeah.
And which is, I remember just being in Alaska, and there was this big, burly Alaskan man that was running this airline, and he was pulling out like a moose calendar, a moose hunt calendar, and it was like all these different moose. And I was like, oh my goodness, is he going to give me this calendar? And I was just like, just a different background. I'm not against hunting. I'm not like, I was just like really sitting there and holding on tight.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking about airplanes, I was like, okay, I would be in this, but I don't know what to do with this one. But then suddenly his little dog walks into his office, which I'm like, there's a dog in your office and her name was Penny and he loved her. And I'm like immediately like, okay, there we go. We're connected.
If there's a dog, that's an immediate connection. I'm like, can I pet that dog? And like, what's its name? That's all I need.
And not for everyone, right? But yeah.
Exactly. And that's like that's a great example of like a pretty common one, right? Like there's always, when you say like, there's always something, there's always like these few things that there's so many groups that like, there's a majority of people out there who will like that or be into it that you can kind of fall back to. And sometimes that's like your first stepping stone into knowing them better of like, you use dogs to figure out what the next niche thing that they might enjoy is. And the more you can go into the less common, I think find those are the relationships that really start setting the test of time. So if you share like a niche interest or a few or a value or something that maybe isn't as common, those are the ones that really become like, okay, that's like a person you're just going to have in your network, in your corner, in your sphere for a long time.
Yes.
Like I remember,
go ahead.
In my, like, oh, sorry. It's so hard on live stream. I never want to interrupt anybody and it's always so tricky. There was a gentleman that I worked with when I was at the college and he was in IT, lovely human being. And I was always, I don't know why, but I was always slightly intimidated because I was like, okay, like do a lot of work with this person. I want to be very professional about it. And then he hopped on a call one time. He usually had his camera off. So I knew what he looked like because of his little icon and that was it. And he had his camera on, and I noticed behind him he had a bunch of like miniature paints, like for painting like D&D figures or Warhammer 40K. And before he said anything, I was like, Brian, is that what kind of paint you got back there? And it kicked off this huge conversation, and it just made me feel so much more at ease. So I would send him messages. I'm like, hey, did you see like this new set came out? And he'd be like, yeah. And then it was wonderful. And it completely changed my relationship and my comfort level. So I felt so much better to like ask those things. And, I was very sad to leave because I was like, oh, everybody's so good here. And when I was leaving, he definitely was like, who am I going to talk to about mini painting now? I was like, how's your D&D campaign gonna end? I want to know. And it just, it completely changes everything. So I love that concept of finding those small things, and it can be something like finding a dog or like a niche hobby or whatever, but it opens up like all of this room. So it just puts everyone more at ease, and the best.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I love that. And that's the discovery. And even you sharing that story, I know a little bit more about you as well. And I think like it can feel vulnerable, and it can feel, or it can be just something you don't even realize is quirky about you or unique about you. And also, everyone's different with what they feel comfortable sharing. And that's why I think the various levels, like there's no rules. You don't have to write. You don't have to do video. You don't have to go broad. You don't have to go one-to-one. You can do it like what's your most comfortable style. And I find it to be amazing that there's certain people in my life, and when we share a text format communication, it's emojis, it's exclamation points, there's all caps, there's lots of expression. And then face to face, it's like, hello. It's just, how are you? It's quiet. But it's just the self-expression, how it can come through. Some people, and I think that's, I think you embrace what works best for you. And I'm definitely biased towards the writing because I think there's lots of great things that come from writing. But even if it's private or if it's public, and then even if it becomes like an initial internal practice, I think that's just where you can really discover your voice, as we talked about before, the content, the things that the things that will resonate in certain ways. Because sometimes things, but you're like, how do I describe this? And I think that's just which is also one of those funny things in life, the things that you know best, to be able to share it in a way that's be able to be received by your audience and really click for them. So yeah, but I mean, video, like Alexandra, I see, well, in Jordan too, I see your video content. I feel sometimes I might explore that. Speaking, I think it's just there's so many different ways of being able to express yourself. And Yeah, and I could get into my increased luck surface area as well too, just to like nudge people into that direction.
This is
But
why we need
yeah,
an
I just
episode 2.
I know. I'm like
there's
looking at the
just
clock. I'm like,
so
no,
much.
how did this
I
happen?
know. Well, maybe
Stupid
if you
technical
have to duck off,
difficulties.
Pamela and I can keep talking about luck surface.
I think you should. I think I wanted to just have one question for you, Pamela. I'm going to let you two keep going because I think there's going to be some good stuff here. For people who are like maybe thinking about they want to expand their reach, or they want to move beyond just, you know, one-on-one referrals and word of mouth, like what's the first step look like for someone who wants to dip their toe into, I want to tell more people I exist, but I might also not want to tell more people because that involves vulnerability or sharing or fill in the blank kind of resistance or obstacle they might have?
Yes. And I think like maybe I will just lightly touch this increase your luck surface area, because I think it really like helped me in that way. And just in that idea of like it's the doing and the telling. So do the things that you love and work on the skills you want to build, and also doing and connecting with the people you want to connect with. That gets into a bit of the positioning. But then there's the telling people about it, because people might not know your dreams unless you tell them. And
Yeah.
they likely
That
won't.
was one of your
Because
best emails.
unfortunately, AI hasn't cracked that yet. Can't mind read quite yet. But there can be something you feel like you're just wearing completely on your sleeve. And I mean, it can be a very tangible business goal that you have of like further customer acquisition, or it's maybe into like, I want to work with slightly different profile person, but yeah, like you kind of build, and it's the system that you have and the ecosystem you have. And I think it's like honestly just little micro movements of maybe it's just telling somebody that you trust at first, and maybe it's just somebody that maybe it's insequential, nope, that's not the word I wanted. It's like, it's not necessarily going to impact. You don't think it's going to impact. I play Frisbee. I could tell my Frisbee buddy, this is what I'm working on. And maybe they're like, oh, that's super cool. And that's it. Or maybe they're like, wait, I kind of know somebody, or that could be
Yeah.
me. So I think it's just little practices here and there, and get your reps in. And I think it just adds
Well,
up
baby
over
steps.
time. Yes.
Baby steps.
I love a baby step.
Okay.
Okay,
We're all
I'm going to
talking.
say thank you, Pamela. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
We're absolutely going to do this again with the live, and maybe even we'll push it to like 45, because I feel like 30 minutes is not going to be long enough to actually.
Yeah.
I want to dive into so many things, but I appreciate the time.
Okay.
It's lovely seeing you. I'm sorry I have to jump a little early today, but I'll leave you two to chat a little more if there's anything else you want to cover, Alexandra, Pamela, and otherwise, hope you have a great weekend, and we'll be chatting soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan. Thanks so much. And yes, I agree. More to deep dive on.
Yes. I'm like, there's just so many.
Enjoy.
Bye, Jordan.
Have fun.
So since it's just the two of us now, I've heard like the increase your luck surface, because we do have some circles that overlap, which I love that we all have very similar people. And I feel very, very honored that I get to be a part of those groups, because they make me feel like my best version. But if you want to kind of talk a little bit about like where this kind of came from, like I've heard it before from other people, from them hearing it from you. So it's kind of rippled out now.
Yeah, no, I love that. Like, I'm not the originator for sure. I did actually a quick Google again to look at it, but it was a Jason Roberts that adapted it from a Jim Collins luck ROI concept. And I think wherever I heard it first, that's tough to say, but it's just something that whether you believe in luck or not. And I did a little Toastmaster speech on this as well too. But like, you could like not believe in luck. You can believe in it, or somewhere in between, that you engineer your own luck. Just like you can't deny the outcomes. Like, anyone can think like, okay, if I do these things and then I tell and share people and like let people know what I'm working on or what I'm looking to achieve, there's going to be some growth that happens there. There's going to be some increased outcomes. And I think like sometimes like the formulas or the so-called rules, they can just seem so specific. But I think this concept is just so open for you to make it however it works for you. Because all the different things that you want to do and work on are going to be so unique to you, and the people you want to work with, the industries you want to tackle, the parts of the world you want to work with. And then the telling, as we shared before, there's like so many different ways to tell people. Maybe you're a one-on-one person, maybe you're a content person, maybe you're events, on the phone, like whatever works for you. There's no rules. I'll like keep emphasizing that of how you do it. So it just feels like a fun way. And I think the more that you do it and the more that it compounds and just like these opportunities and experiences and people that pop up in your life, like it becomes magical and you can miss it, right? You can see it just as like, well, of course these things took place and we would eventually meet. But like, I mean, for you and I to be invited by the same people to come like pull a plane together. And then now like a year later, we've had like several conversations. We're on this podcast together, like, and it's just going to grow from there. And I think it's really cool. I think that's what life is all about at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I think too, we're starting to move away from that hesitation to share those things. Because I mean, I'm going to speak from experience, but I know that for a long time, there was so much fear associated with being like, I don't want anyone to know about this because they might not like take it the way that I want, or maybe it won't land the way that I'm hoping. And now people are more willing to share those things, and it's growing, and the impact is huge. I mean, I know I've talked about like comfort and stuff a lot, but it just makes it such a more comfortable experience to share those things and know that it's going to be met with kind of open arms and like, okay, I'm going to share this thing I'm working on. I hope it goes well. And you just get support for the most part. Like if I share something like, hey, I picked up a new hobby, no idea where this is going to go. It's usually people being like, oh, I'm excited about this. Like, have you tried this? Or my friend's really into this. You should check out their page, or whatever it is. It's just it's really changing. I'm noticing a lot more in those spaces that it's just like, don't be afraid to share those things, because the response is probably going to be more positive than you think it's going to be.
Yeah, like you're robbing us, like the people who get to meet you and learn about you, from that. And I would just say, I think it's incredibly common, myself included, to think about like what judgment will come when you share. And I think usually when you reflect on it, it's one or maybe two people that you're thinking about in particular that you've seen either them judge others or judge yourself, or and they're just, simply not your audience at the end of the day. But the people who do really want to hear from you and learn what you're up to, because maybe they want to get in on it, I think it's in that way, it's a win-win situation. So these are kind of like what you're talking about. And I know I am feel lucky. I have like, I have three sisters, and the one next to me in particular, I've been very much more on the extroverted side. So I find it okay with the right audience to share what I'm thinking. But growing up with her very introverted, it was not always her thing would be to share her thoughts into words. So I think we were into each other's life and share a bedroom to learn that about the other person, that some people want to express and other people want to internalize. And, but I think like in that way, just for the people who are maybe quieter, just to know there's lots of different avenues that you can share what you're working on. And it doesn't have to be loud. It can be in a quiet way. And people really listen and will be very excited when you share it.
Do you find that that's kind of a conversation that you have when you're ghostwriting or working on those things for the more executive level? Like, do you find that's a conversation you frequently have?
Oh, yes. It is. I was surprised. There's definitely some that are just like, no, I just know it needs to get done and I need to put it out there and I'm just not doing it. I'm not getting to it. It has to happen. But there's so many more that are on the side of reluctance and coming across a certain way, and how will it be received? And sometimes like there can be politics involved, and there's these different pieces that provide obstacles for them sharing, like what, in my personal opinion, is really cool work that more people need to hear about. And I think there's a lot of representation right now out in the media, a very polarizing, like very like the rage bait and just really trying to get people going. Because there is a very like known psychological play that people, when they get angry about something, they're going to engage and then they just want to engage, engage,
Yeah.
engage. So that's one play. But I think there's like so many of the people I work with, they've got like the neutral, the educated, the objective, in my opinion, perspective that we all need to hear. And even like if they're not reaching millions with different tactics, but they're reaching like a group of people that they can just be able to educate, because people are really looking for voices to guide them through like a lot of the disruption that's happening in the world today. And there's nobody knows everything, but there's people who are, you know, figuring some things out and putting some thoughts together, or different levels of expertise. And those are the people we need to hear from more and more than we ever have. And but yeah, there's definite reluctance, and for my part, it's just to like, no, we need you, we need to hear you. And you can, as I think you said, baby steps. You can baby step
Yeah.
your information out there. You don't have to come out hot day one. Like you don't have to come out with this like super hot take. You can absolutely, if you're feeling it and you're ready to have a conversation. It's just very, I mean, there's just so many pieces that come from it that you can like engage with your audience. You can attract certain audiences, detract, which is fine. There's billions of people on the planet.
Yep.
We don't need everyone. And then learn from it. You might get some pushback or feedback, but that just helps you grow your perspective as well too, or agree to disagree. So yeah, I feel like there's more possibilities and wins and good that can come out of it as you want to grow your career, your business, your life, than staying quiet. And
Yeah.
absolutely, it's nuanced. There's lots of different things that can impact that, but from what I see, most people are nervous about it or reluctant about it, and but we still need those voices.
Yeah. And I think too, there is this kind of feeling of having to be really good at it right out the gate. And something we talk about a lot internally as a team, and we talk about this with our clients too, is we mentioned baby steps, but like when you're starting something new or you're trying something new, you're not going to be an adult at it. Like you're not going to be an expert who's got a bunch of experience. You're a baby right now. This is new.
Yes.
And
yes.
You wouldn't get upset with a baby for learning something new and trying it and falling over and getting back up. Like you would encourage that, right?
Yes.
So you start as a baby, and maybe after a little bit of time, you move to like the toddler stage where you have a bit more experience, but you're still kind of figuring things out, and that's okay. But I think people tend to want to skip to, I don't want to go through those stages where I'm not going to be great at it. I just want to be great at it.
Yes.
But those stages are so important. You can't skip them. You can just choose how you want to feel about them. If you want to feel okay with it and be okay with, falling over a little bit and having to pick yourself back up, but kind of just keeping that in mind. So it's a bit of a gentler process rather than jumping ahead.
100%. That is so well said. And yeah, that is one of the unfortunate truths of life, is you have to be a little uncomfortable to grow. There's no just jumping into it. Even with like a well-crafted, articulated, like, I mean, I used to spend so much time on my posts, and some of them like have some different density. So there is some time allotment, but just like staring at it, like, is this going to offend somebody, or is this going to hit wrong? Like just holding. Okay, publish. And I know some people in my life, and bless them, that have no qualms. It's like good enough, post or publish. And that's the part that I often need in my life, is to not hold on to the perfectionism side. But it's so true. And at any point of your, like, throughout your life, no matter what age you are, there's some things you can't have possibly done everything in the world. And when it comes to content, to just throw it out there, like the first couple might not even get the traction. So not too many people saw it. So there's no harm. Like if it wasn't like your best. Yeah, exactly. And it just takes time to dial it in. And sometimes it just gets dialed in right away, and or not. Yeah. No rules to it. So yeah, but I think that's such an important reminder. And there's the belief wheel with like belief and judgment and action and results. And you can believe like, ooh, like I don't know if I'm very good at this, or I don't know what people are going to think. And that stops you from taking action. And the only way to change that belief is to start taking action and start getting results. And then your beliefs will slowly evolve as you go through it. So yeah, it's some discomfort, as you say, that you have to push through that, some child to toddler action. And I think that's what makes life interesting at the end of the day.
It's more fun that way.
Yes, we say that after we get through a thing, but I know I might want to experiment more on video, and I know I'm going to have a lot of child moments of doing some talking heads, but yeah, we'll just have to practice and we'll see what happens with it.
I think that's probably a really lovely spot, because I want to be mindful of the time. I've gotten to chat with you for a little while now, so I'm very excited about that. But if you could pass along anything to people who are watching this, either something you want to talk about that you've been working on or that you've learned or whatever, just kind of your words of wisdom, I guess, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I mean, I think we've covered like so much of the ideas and concepts that I am excited about. I do feel like, just to reiterate, whether we work together or not, like I think being able to express your ideas, to establish your own discernment and taste for what's happening in the world, to potentially edit and filter what you're receiving, and just to have an open mind and stay curious, because we're being blasted with so much information right now. And I know that's also something that people are like, do I want to add to that? And it's like, you're adding your own version of that, that can be in your own way, that will be helpful for a lot of people. And yeah, I just like, there's lots of different ways of changing the way we think and work and reimagine everything. But I just want people to, stay active and take their own decision on what they want to do with what's going on in the world right now.
Thanks. Cool. And then the very last thing that we are trying to do at the end of every episode, and this is not like related to anything, but just to end on like a super happy note. I mean, this whole podcast has been literally like just pure joy from where I'm sitting. I'm just like,
agreed.
So we've been trying to end with like, what's one thing that happened this week that brought you joy? It can be business, it can be life, whatever.
Amazing. I love that you asked that. I went sailing for the first time ever this week at Lake of the Woods. It was one of those opportunities that came up. As I shared, we were dog sitting this week, lots of busyness in our lives. Got the invitation to show up Lake of the Woods at 8:00 Wednesday morning. We're based in Winnipeg, obviously, but we're like, you know what? We're still young and alive. So we like packed up after a Frisbee game Tuesday, and made it to Kenora, like to sail off on Wednesday morning. And it was a little bit of an event and workshop that kicked it off. And then we went sailing and just enjoyed having like some nice food and jumping in the water and checking out different little spaces and actually doing some sailing stuff. I was at the helm for a moment, just learned what that officially is called. But anyways, it was really, really lovely. Very excited about that, still processing it and feeling the good vibes.
Oh my goodness, that sounds spectacular. Like, now I just have a bunch of questions about that, but I'm going to be very, I'll stop it there. But it's been lovely having you. And I, again, could talk to you for hours. So I think hopefully we'll have you on again soon and we can chat more about all the things. But just very grateful that you were able to join us today and dealt with all of our technical LinkedIn Live issues.
Oh, no, my pleasure. I'm so thankful, that you invited me. I was very happy to be here. It's always so great connecting with you, and I always leave with the best vibes. And thank you so much.
Amazing. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next week.